Today I want to talk about alternate nostril breathing. It's well known in yoga, well known across many kinds of yoga, and yet often what happens is the inner workings, the inner teachings have to be experienced in our own bodies and transmitted in a very different way. So we'll take some time to talk about how alternate nostril breathing or Nadi Shodhana works, and it may be a reminder for a lot of you what you experienced when you first did this, a very different kind of sensory and subtle teaching inside of your body and mind. This is one of the things that alternate nostril breath is so amazing for. It can often be one of the first experiences of really what it feels like to master the breath and energies throughout your mind and body and psyche. At the end of this talk, we'll go into a beautiful practice. The practice is based on basic breath series. In the Kundalini Kriya Yoga tradition, basic breath series is a process of alternate nostril breathing that's really nourishing for rising energy, for healing consciousness. And I'll talk about that as we go through. So the last part of this video will be our practice. And I invite you, even if it's a practice that you've done many times for years, I invite you just with an open heart and an open mind to learn today. So for myself, I remember that in 1991, maybe 92, when I was pouring yoga into my mind and body, Jiva Mukti Yoga Studio was the first time that I experienced being taught alternate nostril breath. And what was so charming for me was this idea that the yin and yang energies can be accessed through your nostrils, through your nose. That idea kind of lit me up. So remember it with like special affection today. The main fire channel, the Sushumna that runs through the center, and these main zigzagging energies, spiraling energies on the left side and the right side. These main energies are accessed through the nose. They're directly related to clearing your sinuses, clearing your mind, clearing your nervous system, and then on deeper levels, accessing the Nadi or river-like energies within our mind. So that charmed me so deeply. It was like, oh, this is our control system. And I hope that as you go through today, you feel that exchange of energy. In yoga, these are the systems of vata, or movement, into the body and out of the body. And mastering that sensation of prana or chi energy flowing in and out and side to side is the province of alternate nostril breathing. Shodhana means to cleanse. A lot of times in English we say to clear away, and that's true too. But the cleansing property is not just for the sinuses, which it is also, is not just integrating the nervous system, which it is also. The clearing and cleansing is on much deeper levels. And that's the place where it's up to you. When everything comes together, and we call that yoga, your ability to sweep or clear or cleanse is extraordinary. But nobody can give it to you from the outside. We call that yoga. And so therefore, as you go through, if your mind fidgets or interrupts you or becomes very restless with this or any practice, if the mind tries to take you away from what you're doing or sweeps in with a lot of turmoil, this is a sign that energies are being swept and cleared and sort of loosened, like dirt that was very stuck or very settled starts to be swept and starts to come into activation. That can be difficult, and it can be very difficult. And sometimes it cannot be difficult at all. There's an inner attitude, and that inner attitude is of deep self-devotion and curiosity. The more curious you are about the process, and the more clearly you stay with the Kriya, or any series of classical yoga, the more your ability is to confront your mind, your turmoils, your samskaras, your past patterns, and literally to use the breath to sweep and clear them away. What's unique to yoga is that while you do that, you're feeling and sensing what it feels like to create steadiness. So back to Nadi Shodhana. It's such a beautiful teaching, and it may have been, or will be today, the first teaching for you, as I was saying, of how to really control the breaths. So breathing in is when I take the external environment and I bring it in to my body, my lungs, but also my energetic body. That's the prana. Inhaling. The exhaling, the out breath, like we sometimes say in yoga, is when the internal environment of my body is sent back out. The internal energy, the old breath, the poor oxygen, all of that. But the contained ingredients of the environment in me get sent back out. So you have this constant exchange, and that constant exchange, when it's healthy, is balanced and strong and intentional. It's important for us to breathe in areas that are clean and pure and emotionally safe. Our nose is a big part of that. And then, as I was explaining before, it's the in and the out together with the side and side. So this side energy on the left is Ida. It is a moon-like energy, receptive. It can be emotional, perceptive, very intuitive. It can also be cooler. Then on your right side, we have an energy aligned with yang qualities. And you remember, it's sunny, dynamic, activating, and that's where especially, oh my gosh, the mind can be breathed into coordination and harmony with the self. So on the right side of the body, where the monkey mind often really shows up, that's even more where the discipline of yoga is extraordinary. So you have right and left, you have in and out, and you also have up and down. So while I'm inhaling, there is definitely an experience of filling, rising, and at the same time I'm aware that the breath is coming down into my lungs, down deep into my lungs, and anchoring me in a sense, so that I can take in a full rising breath. The opposite, of course, is true, that as I exhale, and there's a descending and emptying breath, as I exhale, I can lengthen. There's an emptiness, there is a lightness on the exhale. All of these movements, again, in and out, side to side, up to down, can be mastered when you master the first three main channels. Again, that light channel, that divine fire channel from which everything comes, and the left and the right. And this is what we do in Nadi Shodhana, together with understanding there are 4 parts to a breath. The breath fills, that rising prana. Then there's a moment of steadiness, even if you're not trying to pause. The diaphragm is ready to change its gradient, but it can't do it in an instant, and there's a pause there. Then the exhale comes. Again, that descending, and I called it an anchoring breath, that grounding breath. And yet, as you breathe out, physically, the diaphragm is rising because the lungs are emptying. And you may feel, I always say it to students, that as you exhale, there's a lengthening. There's a release that allows you to rise up. This is the movement of vata inside of the body. This is the movement of currents of not just air, but life, breath energies. And Nadi Shodhana is one of the main access roads for mastering this with a lot of sensitivity. So you may be somebody who experiences that right from the beginning, the distinctions between right and left and the subtleties of that in your skin, in your joints, in your thoughts. Wonderful. Keep going with that. Or you may be somebody who enjoys the process and the feeling of breath, but you can't feel so much all these distinct psychological energies right from the beginning, or this mind-body activation where things are somatic and visceral. If that's difficult for you, this is the classic practice. It will give you that subtlety if you hear and feel the smooth, deep, even qualities of the breath as they build. And the opposite is true. If you are somebody who is oversensitive, especially right now, everything is coming in. That feeling of the external environment coming into you is overwhelming. Nadi, Shodhana, or alternate breath practices are incredible because of that anchoring, grounding, and stability. You'll feel that as you take in the external environment, you are steady. You're receiving all of this information as breath, as energy, and as vibratory sensation. You're receiving it into a steady and strong mind. That's what Nadi Shodhana prepares for you. So a couple of notes before we go into the practice of basic breath series. I'm giving you some of the unspoken. There's always the teachings of yoga, and then there's the understanding. Those deeper, often unspoken, or those deeper understandings that you have access to only when your heart is open, when your spirit is open, when your mind is more curious about the impacts of the practice than it is attached to your own stuff. So this anchoring process of exhaling sort of sanctifies the breath. It's beautiful. There's a sanctification process as the breath is clearing, as the breath is sweeping you. And in order for that to happen, it's really important that you breathe into the very top of your breath and the very bottom of your breath. Sometimes we come to practices, our nose is stuffed, or our sinuses are strained for the day. Sometimes, again, it's on a psychic or psychological or emotional level that we feel blocks, or we feel the challenge just of breathing in and out. And so Nadi Shodhana is the place to work on that, definitely. I would breathe such long breaths that if I went to a class, often my inhale was 3 times longer than the teacher cued, or my exhale. And I would stay with my breath as long as it was polite, so that I could do my work against a landscape of often these breath works being taught too fast. I think 1 minute of breathing as we get into the practice and you feel it, 1 minute of breathing in alternate nostril work is too short. It's too short to really cleanse and clear. It won't have that deeper action, or it's too short to really sense and feel what the difference is for new students. So the times of practice become really critical. The times of practice become part of the wisdom of the practice. That's quite important to Kriya Yoga. And the last thing I'll say as we head into our practice is that I'm going to give you the mudra in a special way. In Kundalini Kriya Yoga, we're taking a very direct and mind-body form of alternate nostril breath. So we're going to use both our left and right hands. You usually won't see that. I'm also going to add for you the inner understanding that your fingers are in relationship to your third eye. So your pointer finger and your middle finger beckons the third eye. It has a correspondence, a beautiful conversation with the third eye point, the Ajna Chakra. You're not pushing against the third eye. You're not leaning your hands against it. You're beckoning. You're literally awakening. And so we're going to use our fingertips to do that. We're going to use our palm in a very open way. And again, all of this is designed that you have an experience with the meridians that sings through you, that feels light and alive and transformational, legitimately changing. Let me see if there's anything else I wanted to say before. No, I think that's good. So let's go into it. Bring your hands together. Close your eyes. Rub your hands back and forth and notice how you're sitting. That you're sitting evenly. That you're sitting in a way that you can rise up as if you could lift up out of your seat. Your spine is that long. And yet your asana, your seat, is comfortable, secure, clean, and grounding. Bringing your hands together at the heart. Rest your thumbs into your sternum. If you can feel the resonance between your palms now, that is correct. Resting your thumbs on the sternum bone as we chant. You'll hear and feel and sense the vibrations through you. I already feel incredible Shakti in my palms. So let's have this intention. May the internal vibratory system of which you are composed, as it's part of the whole community, the whole external environment, the whole external universe, may that resonance please your mind and heart. At the same time, you're unique. Your internal vibratory capacity is unique in all the world as it experiences the world. Have that clear intention of inner and outer wisdom, inner and outer light. And as we chant the Aryavak mantra, Om Namo Gurudev Namo, feel it, hear it, sense the resonance in your bones, in your skin, in your mind, and in your day. Exhale to begin. Always do that. Clear the old. Inhale. Om Namo Gurudev Namo. Inhale. Inhale fully. Inhale to the very top. Feel the blossoming of the inhale, and then pause. Pull the navel in against the full breath. Rise up against the full breath. And before there's strain, exhale. Send the breath out and rise up. So we're going to begin with the left nostril. You're going to bring your right hands into Gyan Mudra, thumb over the forefinger. You're going to block your right side. Excuse me, I just showed you opposite. So you're going to block your right side. Your right hand is in Gyan Mudra. And you'll begin long breaths in through the right nostril. Feel the breath up to the third eye. And feel the breath arcing back down, sweeping, clearing, cleansing you. The breath may be suspiciously long right from the beginning, arcing only through your left nostril and up, arcing only through your left nostril and down, hearing, feeling, sensing, receiving. These are moon qualities. These are Ida qualities. Do 10 breaths on your own or up to 3 minutes. For our purposes here, if you're finished with 10 breaths, we'll come back and rest. I'm waiting for everyone. I'm waiting for the group. When you do it on your own, it's totally perfectly seamless. Notice how these vata energies merge and work together. As the breath becomes longer, the in and out breath becomes purer, sweeter, deeper. As the breath becomes deeper, the clarity of movement and motion in the breath is more and more and more. And we'll feel that as we go through the practice. After your 10th breath, we'll switch sides. After your 10th breath, releasing everything, we switch hands, we switch everything. So your experience is somatic. Now block the left nostril, fingertips point straight up, third finger and point your finger, beckon the Ajna Chakra, the third eye, and inhaling and exhaling only through the right nostril. Inhaling, feeling the breath return to the third eye, and exhaling, sweeping back out, clearing your nerves, clearing your thoughts. There's a deeper activating breath on this right side. It is the solar side, the sun side, a bit more dynamic, and therefore you stay in disciplined awe, in joyful consistency. Take 10 breaths in and out through the right side, that beautiful solar side. We're using the pure sound of the breath. You're not adding another mantra yet. You are purifying the mind, Shodhana. You're purifying the nervous system. You are clearing or cleansing the energetic body. These synchronicities are the gift, the magic of yoga. And after your 10th breath, come back to center. Again, when you do it on your own, it's seamless. There'll be no pause. Sitting long, almost falling back into the spine. There's space, there's length, there's prana, there's healing energy. Releasing back to center. Now we'll take U breath. You will inhale through the left up to the third eye, and exhale from the third eye down and out through the right nostril. This is lunar solar breathing. Its characteristic, its energy is yin to yang. So blocking the right nostril first, inhale left. Swing the ring finger across and opening the right nostril, exhale. Try to keep the fingers still, beckoning the third eye point. Feel that sweeping exhale, and we only do that direction. Same again, inhale left. Block the left nostril, open the right, exhale. Let your breath be complete, which is it's as long as it needs to be. The breath is very long and it's starting to really do the action, the internal action again of clearing and sweeping. Therefore, if things come up, it is okay. If things come up, they can feel dense, real, physically, psychically, emotionally, energetically, cosmically. If things come up, you are clearing, you are sweeping. You don't need any other technique than this, but you do need to let the yoga do its magic for you. Let the yoga be complete, healing, the wisdom of your inner body and the wisdom of the pranic reality come together. Do 10 altogether. You may feel already like you have new inner cosmology. Take time for these 10. You're learning your breath as it's learning you. The energetic anatomy comes alive through the experience of yoga. It is rare, golden, special, and unique in all the world. After your 10th breath, coming back to sit, we're going to switch sides. This time you're going to go right to left. You're going to arc the breath in through the right nostril, the solar channel, up to the third eye point, and arc the breath back down and out through the left nostril. So this is going to be solar, lunar breath for you. Please begin. Using your ring finger as you exhale, the first 2 fingers stay even with the third eye, watchful of the third eye as that exhale descends. There's the sanctifying quality of the breath now. It's not just complete, it's not just deep, it's sanctifying. It exists with its own truth, with its own wisdom, with its own bliss, literally. By allowing the length and depth of breath with the coordination of the internal and external breath, with the coordination of the rising and descending breath, with the coordination of the side-to-side breath, you get the whole motion and coating of prana or vata inside of the body. Keep going until you've done 10 completely. You may think at times during this like you're done. Again, the mind can come up and do its monkey business, but you'll feel the more you go, the clearer you feel. It's not just the oxygenating of the lungs, of the blood, of the internal environment. It's the stimulation, the dynamic activation of the Nadi channels from those 3 main hubs. It's said in yoga, this is all you need to know. If you perfect the movement of these 3 main channels, you have everything, all consciousness, all bliss. However, now we're going to create an internal heat. We're going to evoke the principles of Agni, or fire within the body. We worked so extraordinarily on the pranic body, the vata, the movement principle. Now we're going to add a very strong fire in the core, in the center, that breath of fire through both nostrils, synchronizing and lighting up the brain. And it should not be fast so that it's chaotic. It should not be paced so that it's off-putting, nerve-breaking, a systemic calamity, like I often see with breath of fire. This breath of fire, again, has the pace of harmony. You're breathing in and out evenly and rapidly through your nose. Keep your thumbs placed on your forefingers. Create this wisdom gesture with the inner arms open. Feel the beautiful space and length of the body. Place your eyes closed at that light point, that beautiful moonlight point at the third eye. And now you can chant in your mind, Satnam, 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 S-A-T-N-A-M, as you take breath of fire. And all of that cleansing that you kind of put into action, now you get the metabolic energy, the transformational energy. So begin when you're ready, and we're going to go for a while. Satnam, 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 even in and out through the front of your nose. Watch if you need to, and then go for it. If you can sustain the entire time, that's beautiful. If you need to stop and take a breath and then go again with quality, go for it. Keep going in your pace. If you stop, breathe, take a long deep breath, get hold of your mind, understand your intention, and go again. Don't skip it. Don't skip the practice. Don't skip the video. Go beyond what you think you can do. This is that catalyst fire energy time. Satnam, 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 repeating the mantra prominently, allowing the mantra to resonate within the belly, within the breath, within the mind, within the vibratory cosmology of the body. Keep going, keep going, keep going. Do your best. Go beyond that which you think you can do. And if you've done so much breath of fire that this just feels like sitting and drinking a glass of water, then even more so for you, let the sound, the mantra, become like a light, like a strike of a match inside of your body and mind and spirit. Light up the mantra Satnam inside of you. The breath is starting to penetrate even deeper. Let that happen. There's deeper activation at the navel's hub, that navi point. There might be a stronger sound of the breath. You're going quickly. Again, you're going in that same breath of fire pace, but there's an opening. We're going to go a little longer. Keep up. Your lungs can open, your diaphragm can open, your Sushumna can open. The clearing and cleansing now has no limit. It's just what you are ready for in this practice, in this moment. Now finally inhale. Inhale fully, 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 holding the breath, stuffed with breath. Lift the mulban, contract the navel like mad, rise, and against the full breath, visualize your energy rising to the crown, and exhale. I'm going to come into full lotus. If you want to shake yourself out or renew your posture, go for it. The last part of this basic breath series is a wave of breath. It goes from the base at first chakra through the pelvis, the sacrum, through the navel, third chakra, through the cardiac plexus, fourth chakra. That's a big wave, up to the throat, where the larynx and the thyroid and the parathyroid, that very glandular and subtle place, fifth chakra. It waves to the sixth chakra, the pituitary, master gland, and up to the crown, in line with your pineal gland. This wave is a wave of sound. It is the sound Sat, or reality. I'll come closer so you really hear me well. And the sound Nam is from the crown and around. It is in your aura. It creates a vibratory cosmology in your external environment as well. Sat waving through. I want you to visualize this. Nam ascending, percolating almost, and cascading into the energies that create and maintain your aura. You can take this with your hands at your heart. You can take this with your hands against your heart. I actually like that variation quite a lot. But I want you to maintain a seated posture that is rising and constantly uplifting you. The visualization in your mind is held with the eyes at the third eye point. And the visualization of these internal, etheric, and subtle movements becomes, again, so sensory, so accessible for you. Dive in with your heart. We'll chant Sat and Nam in this extraordinary way as 7 waves and as a connection to the cosmic energy we call crown chakra. Here we go. Sat. It is that capacity for internal sound, for resonant divinity that characterizes Kriya Yoga. You're visualizing from front to back. We're going to go 5 more times, but allow that extraordinary harmony. I've given you an extraordinary amount of information today, or reminders. So you can visualize from front to back like a wave, and that harmonizing with divine sound. We call it the nod. That harmonizing with divine sound occurs within the heart and spirit of the yogi. There's no way anybody can really make you do that or make it happen. It's an opening of your own spirit, an opening of your own heart into what is Satnam. Sat, which is truth. I want to say love, even though we don't hear it defined that way. It is the loving reality. And Nam, the very vibration of that capacity to surrender or resonate with that. Let's take 5 more today, and everything that we've done has prepared you for this moment. Holding that extraordinary mantra, that vibration within you, we'll sit in silence for a moment. And please dedicate your practice. Thank yourself first. Thank yourself for your practice. Whether it was just a return home for you, or there are many new experiences that you had. Always thank yourself for the totality of your practice, whether it feels extraordinary or a calamity. Thank yourself. We're grateful for the practices of yoga. We're awed by the practices of yoga, and we hope to keep them pure, meaning wise, within our own minds and bodies. Let's dedicate our practice session. May all beings awaken in the light of great innate perfection. May all beings know peace. May all beings know freedom. May all beings know joy. And may our actions help in some small way. Out loud, where you are, we're one voice. Even as we're doing this in different times, we're still one voice, one Sangat, one community. Satnam.